at it again with Ashley. I hope you guys have enjoyed the last couple videos featuring Christopher. Today is gonna be top 10 Marvel movies with Ashley. So this is my first ranking video, so we're gonna see how it goes. Hopefully it goes good. But I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos. But yeah, yesterday's was interesting to say the least. I was so tired. It was just chaos. And as you can tell, yeah, this is about how I look now every day. It's a bit rough, but whatever, right? Whatever. Okay, so let's take a look here. We're going to be starting with number 10 and working our way up to number 9. So, before we get going, I hope you guys have been enjoying the stories with Ashley. And in case you didn't see, I made a couple little playlists at the bottom for, for first stories with Ashley. And then, did I just do, oh, yikes, okay. Okay, hope you stop. And I also made one that is featuring Hope. And thank you. This one might be featuring her too if you decide to come in the video. Yeah. Okay. So here we go. And then after I do this video and then I do another ranking one, then there'll also be like a ranking playlist. And maybe a Marvel playlist. That might be better because I made up a bunch of lists. There's top 10 Marvel movies. And then in this, there will also be Marvel honorable mentions that are still good movies. They didn't make it. Then also top 3 worst Marvel movies and top 3 worst Marvel characters. Okay, so starting with the number 10. That would be the first Thor movie. So hopefully all of you guys have seen the Marvel movies. If not, that is your homework this quarantine. You must watch all of them and in order. Because nothing makes me more mad than when people don't watch them in order. Nicole, who just decided to watch, I don't know if it was Infinity War. Oliver! Good night! Shut up! I don't know if you decided to watch Infinity War or was it Endgame. And she hadn't seen any of the other movies. Like, what the crap? You can't do that. Hi, Hope. They're all riled up because I'm riled up. Okay, so anyways, continuing. Number 10, Thor. So, the first reason I chose this one to be number 10, or considered it to be in the top 10, was because of Tom Hiddleston's performance in this movie. So, for those of you who don't know me, you know that, you don't know that I'm a huge Loki fan. Like, he is easily my favorite. Not only is he very attractive, but I don't know, I just love Loki. He's just a great character, and okay, there are gonna be spoilers in this video, so if y'all haven't seen it, like, you might just stop watching, or maybe it'll make you want to watch it. But when Loki died in Infinity War, it was a sad day for me, because they just killed Heimdall, and so I was like, oh good, a main character is dead, so Loki's safe. Psych, you thought. Okay. Anyways, so back to Thor. So Tom Hiddleston's performance when Loki finds out that he's actually a frost giant is amazing. I can't imagine someone who would do better at being Loki, the god of mischief, and it was just, it was so good. And then that movie was also just, oh, hush! It was also an amazing way to start out the Thor series. Like, it showed all the realms, and it did a great job of including both, like, Marvel original ideas and also Norse mythology, which I think they did a great job of combining both of those. And so that is why Thor is on top 10. Okay, on to number 9. Here we go. Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one. So Guardians of the Galaxy is something that people often don't realize is part of the Marvel universe, which I kind of get that because they're a lot different than all of the other Marvel movies. Like, it just shows the full MCU, like the full universe, not just Earth with Earth's mightiest heroes. It also includes those who protect outer space and stuff. And I think they did an amazing job at bringing that in, too. And, like, I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy, it's a hard thing to make it so that it correlates with the rest of the MCU, and they did a great job at, number one, introducing Thanos, which most people didn't even know who Thanos was. And so they introduced it in Guardians of the Galaxy, and you see a little bit of like the impact that he's had on people, including Gamora, Nebula, and all of that. And it also just helps you to understand the correlation between the two, like how Infinity Stones tie in with those, because the Power Stone is in Guardians of the Galaxy, and they just did a great job at bringing that in. Okay, I tried to do that, which is sign language, which is not helpful because most of you guys, I'd assume that you guys aren't deaf. Okay, let's go. Okay, so number 8 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And just so you know, these aren't ranked on like how much I like them. It's based on their quality and how good of a job that the MCU did at bringing them into the universe. So number 8 is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. First of all, for those who haven't watched Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the first season was good, but then it just went downhill. But Captain America: Winter Soldier did a great job at showing the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of that. Then it also brought in Bucky, aka the Winter Soldier, and they did a really good job with that, because it's kind of a hard thing to bring back in after Cap has gone years without seeing Bucky, but still to see how much Cap cares for him and how far he'll go to save his friend. And so it showed the relationship between both Cap and Bucky, but also Cap and Black Widow, which is one of the most underrated relationships that I absolutely love. That's why one of the reasons I really like this movie, is because it shows how close Cap and Black Widow are and how much they really trust each other. I always wanted a little something to happen between them, but I don't think I'm going to be lucky enough for that, since Cap, went back in time and is with Peggy now. Which makes me really happy, because, like, they were cute, but I also kind of wanted, like, Cap and Black Widow to have a thing, because that would just be awesome. Like, who doesn't think that would be awesome? I hope. So anyways, that is why Captain America: Winter Soldier is number 8. So next, number 7 is Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is one of the all-time favorites for most people, and I get that. But at the same time, I feel like there are ways that it could have been improved. Like, Dormammu is supposed to be this horrible, terrible villain that should be a lot more difficult to defeat. And I don't know, I feel like just sticking him in a time loop wouldn't be enough to defeat Dormammu. But anyway, so on to the positive things about it. It's Doctor Strange is a whole different thing in the MCU. Like, it's not just like, oh, he's an alien from outer space. They work with like the spiritual realm and protecting your reality as it is. I hope. And it's very difficult to bring into the MCU and have him work with the Avengers, which they brought him in with Thor Ragnarok and did a great job with that. And he's also a very complex character, and everything that he does, and the Ancient One is very complex and confusing, and they did a really good job at not making it too confusing. Like, I didn't have any issues, and I can be really stupid sometimes. So I think it's a good movie, and it's different. And so once you're tired of watching the same Earth's Mightiest Heroes, then there's something else there for you that's different. So anyways, moving on to number 6. I'm trying not to spend too much time on each one, but it's not working too well. Okay, number 6, Thor Ragnarok. This is one of my personal favorite movies, but that's not why it's number 6. A lot of people didn't like it, and I don't really understand why. Because I think Taika Waititi did an amazing job directing something that he hasn't been a part of before. And he also played Korg, so... But I mean, I don't know. I really enjoyed that movie. The only thing that I would say I didn't like was in the first two Thor movies, Thor is much more serious. I mean, he's the god of thunder. He has to be. But I don't know. I guess in the third one, he just seemed almost too carefree. Um, which they fixed a lot when Infinity War and Hobie, come this way. And what it, ow, ow, ow. And Endgame, they made him much more serious, which I think is how Thor is supposed to be. Um, but that's the only thing that I have wrong with that video. I mean, not video, that movie. But on to positive things, it shows Loki's progression, which I think is a key part of this. It also shows their relationship. It shows Thor's and Loki's relationship as brothers, which I think is really important because in Infinity War, when Loki dies, it helps to show how much Thor really cared about him and how it was important. And I just love that it shows how Loki turned into a better person. And I really wish we could have seen more of that person that Loki was. Then another reason that I love this movie, which goes along with the first Thor movie, was because it shows it brings in Norse mythology. Like, the combination of the MCU and myths, they did a great job at incorporating both. Like, Fenris the wolf, like, that is technically in mythology is Loki's son, which is kind of weird. But I like that they brought in big stuff like that, then also Ragnarok. And then also, like, Ragnarok, that's a huge thing in Norse mythology, and I love the way that they did it. Because they had to do that in order to defeat Hela, so it wasn't like this awful thing, like, obviously, they lost their planet, but they also discovered that not only is it a place, but it's also a people, you know? And so I thought they did a great job there. Let's see. Number 5, Avengers Infinity War. This movie broke me. Let me just say, when I was in the movie theater and it ended, I was like, what the crap? How can it end there when Thanos literally just snapped everyone out of existence? Well, not everyone, but half of everyone. Good grief, man. How am I supposed to go a year without knowing what the crap happens? Okay, to go along with this, a funny little story from watching this movie. I was there with my friend at the time. That person does not like me anymore, but it's okay. And, okay, so you know that part where, Hobie, stop it. Where, I want to say it's Black Ma, something like that. He comes to Earth, and, you know, Iron Man's like, get lost, Squidward, and, like, all that stuff. But later, you see the phone that Cap had given Iron Man at the end of Civil War, and it says, you know, Steve Rogers on it. And so, in the movie theater, I'm not joking, okay? When that shows up, this dude sitting behind me in the movie theater says exactly in these words, who's Steve Rogers? So I look back at this guy and I'm like, what? Why are you here? Get out of the movie theater. If you don't know who Steve Rogers is, you have no right to be sitting in this seat on opening night when other people could be there. So go away. Like, oh my gosh, it still gets me every time I watch Infinity War. I'm like, this is the time when that dude said, who's Steve Rogers? Anyways, let's go back to ranking these movies before I have an aneurysm. Okay, so also, Infinity War, they did an amazing job at leaving people wanting more. I mean, obviously, the last scene is where Thanos is sitting at the garden on that planet and there's like violin music playing and it just stops and goes to black screen. And I remember, oh, it was rough because I was sitting there and, it just goes to black screen. And then, the words, like the actors, they're just white letters on a black screen. And another reason I love this movie so much is because it was different than all the other Marvel movies. The heroes lost in this one, which I think is an important part to include in everything, because otherwise you get used to heroes winning and they don't always win. It's like in real life, like even if you're a good guy, you're not always going to excel at stuff. You're going to lose some battles, like no matter what. And I think they did a great job at showing that and showing how it really affected them. So I loved that. On to number 4. The first Iron Man. Here we go. So, Iron Man. That movie, first of all, is just a good movie. And it was the first one, like, Incredible Hulk kind of counts, but not really because it wasn't Mark Ruffalo. But anyways, so, Iron Man. Whew. First of all, that was an amazing intro to the MCU. Without overloading people with everything that happens in the MCU, it just focused on Iron Man. First of all, Robert Downey Jr. My man, he is perfect for the role of Iron Man. Billionaire philanthropist, something playboy. What is it? I don't know. Okay, anyways. Well, he says that, and it's like totally like, right on, man. That is Iron Man. But it's not to where he's unlikable. Like, that's where you find the balance. It just did a great job at showing Tony Stark's, like, change in heart. Like, where he begins as this self-focused, crappy fart head, but then turns into someone who actually cares about other people other than himself. And obviously throughout the movies there's still like that kind of like narcissistic aspect of him, but it's just kind of part of who he is. And I think Iron Man just did a great job of showing that transition. Okay, on to number 3, Avengers Endgame. Okay, so this movie, first of all, amazing. I love this movie. It is a good movie, and there's only one part of it that I didn't like, which was that little, feminist part. When Captain Marvel gets the Infinity Gauntlet from Spider-Man, and like she could have easily gotten it to the little van thing by herself, but then no, all of the other women had to come help her, just because feminists would have thrown a fit if that didn't happen. And like I think it's kind of cool, I guess, to see like how many girl superheroes there are, but I think they overdid it. Like they didn't do that with the guy superheroes, so you gotta represent dudes. Okay. Anyways, okay, so continuing on Avengers Endgame, it was a great ending to the original Avengers. It gave everyone closure, I guess is the best way to put it. Like Captain America went back in time and went Peggy. And so that was amazing. And then also, what else? Thor went back to New Asgard and named Valkyrie King or whatever. And it was great for the ending. And you got to see all of the superheroes together, when they come back in the little Doctor Strange circly things. When Sam said "on your left," like at first I was like, oh my gosh. Like, oh, huge nerd moment in the theater. And then also the end of Iron Man, which, don't get me wrong, is very, very sad, and I almost cried in that theater, but then there was this lady up in front of us who was like just hysterically sobbing, and so I was just trying not to laugh, and she was totally ruining the moment. Like, holy crap, man, keep it together. Anyways, I think just Iron Man sacrificing himself in order to save everyone else was a great way to end his time in the MCU. Like I said about Iron Man, like it's that transition from being self-centered to being like sacrificing yourself for other people. And that was one of my favorite parts of the movie. Like, obviously it's really sad, but then also they did a great job of bringing it all together, like I said, with all the superheroes, including everyone in it. And they just did great there. Okay, on to number two. Number two, Captain America, the First Avenger. Most of you are going to be like, but you guys might not know this, but Captain America is the most loved character in the MCU. I mean, he is a very moral guy. He stands up for what he believes in, and he's America. Like, that is America right there. And I think they just did an amazing job at introing his character. And Chris Evans, he's definitely not quite as nice as Steve Rogers is in real life, but he did a great job at playing him. And everyone just, after watching this movie, automatically falls in love with the character that is Captain America. And I just, like, my favorite quote in that movie is when he's trying to, enlist in the army, and he's like, there are men out there laying down their lives, like, I don't have any right to do less than them, or, like, something like that. Which I personally believe is what makes Captain America Captain America. He did perfect. And yeah, so honestly, I love that movie, but it's good. Okay, so now we're on number one. Number one. A lot of you will probably disagree with me on this, but I don't really care. Okay, number one is the first Avengers movie. I can't imagine that they could have done any better of a job introing the MCU, tying in all those characters that seem like they're completely different, like Cap, who's like 80 years old, and then Iron Man, who's like narcissistic, and then the Hulk is just and then bringing in Thor, who's from outer space, and having them all work together. And then not only are the heroes amazing, but also the villain, Loki, which I know, you guys know I'm a little bit impartial to Loki. But in the Avengers movie, you feel for Loki. You understand why he feels that way. Like, he grew up his entire life being told that he was meant to be a king. Then all of a sudden, he finds out that his father is a complete and total fart head and was never going to give him the throne, which was not fair to him, because he should have known that from the start. And then also, like, this wasn't known until a little bit after the movie came out, but in that time, after the third Four, when he fell into, like, the wormhole, and then like, came back out, and he's, like, with the Chitauri, in the first Avengers, and a lot of people didn't know, but during that time period, he was with Thanos. And he was tortured by Thanos, and his mind was completely screwed up by the Titan. And you can see that in the beginning of the Avengers, when he first comes through, like, the Tesseract portal. You can see he's sweaty, his eyes are all messed up. If you watch it again, you'll be able to tell, but it's just, you can't even try to imagine what he just had gone through. And like, he's pretty much been brainwashed into doing what Thanos wants him to do. And then also the Chitauri leader, like, tells him, like, you think you know pain, like, he'll make you long for something as sweet as pain. It just really shows all the things that Loki's been through. And, yeah. So anyways, and it also brings in the idea of the Tesseract, but also the Mind Stone, which is in Loki's scepter this time. And it shows not only 1, but 2 Infinity Stones, and shows how incredibly powerful they are. So I think they did a great job of bringing that in. But anyways, so those are my top 10 Marvel movies. I hope you enjoyed it. I tried to keep it short, but obviously that didn't work out. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe and share below, and also comment, because I'm bored. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. That is my top 10. I was gonna do honorable mentions. I guess I should probably do that, so it's not over yet, you guys. Okay, I'm not gonna say why. These are just honorable mentions. Ant-Man, Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Black Panther. They are all great movies. They don't quite make top 10. Individually, they're all great movies, but they don't encompass the MCU as the other ones do. That's what I think, at least. But anyways, those are my honorable mentions. I'll probably have more Marvel videos coming up, such as top 3 worst Marvel movies and top 3 worst Marvel characters. If you want more, separate ratings on different movies or, reviews, then I can do that too. Anyways, now we're actually done. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please share and subscribe and comment below, because I have nothing to do. So, anyways, love you guys. I don't know why I said that, because I don't really like people. But, it's fine. Okay, anyways, bye.